Hi everyone, we have the very first picture, well, quite the first picture of the new Johanna Basford 2024 planner to do today. I have done this picture already, which I did with some glittery pens when we did the flip through of the book. But here is the first proper picture for the 1st of January. Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. And it is from Rooms of Wonder. So if you don't have the planner but you have Rooms of Wonder, you can colour along. Now there's a lot of detail going on in this planner, a lot going on. I've done the page before and I'm not very keen on what I did when I did it in the actual book. So I'm quite keen to have another go. This is going to be a fairly long series of videos, I think. There's a lot going on in this picture, but we will make a start. Just see how we get on. I think I might start on some of the details, the sort of grassy bits and things. I think that might be where I want to go to start with, and then think about the background after. What I messed up last time, I'm going to come in about there, I feel was my background, so I'm going to avoid doing that for a little bit and give it some thought as I colour the rest. So I'm using my Staedtler Design Journey pencils. They have got a fairly good range of colours, but also they sharpen to a nice sharp point. This is quite fine detail. So I'm going to start with number 5, which is our green. And I'm going to do all these little grassy bits like this, and I'm just going to colour them in plain. So there's going to be no changing colour. You could, if you want to, start off a little darker at the bottom and then fade towards the top using the same colour, or you could start with one colour at the top, a lighter colour at the top than the bottom, or vice versa if you wish to. But I want to keep it quite simple because it's such a complex design. If I was doing the picture in the main book, I might be more inclined to do a little bit more sort of changing colour, because the design is a little bit bigger, because it has, unfortunately, I think, unfortunately personally, a lot of the designs in this planner have been shrunk a little bit too much. I would rather have just had this bit on the whole page, not the whole design shrunk down, or maybe just the middle bit, you know, rather than all of it, where these two side bits are, you know, we could go without those. But anyway, and I know some people find it annoying that they're repeated pictures from Johanna's books and not unique. But of course, if Johanna had to draw a new picture for every week of her planner, that would be probably, just trying to work out what's going on. I think that is a plant there. All we would get was a planner. We wouldn't get a new book as well. So, you know, it's all a matter of opinion. But I'm okay with doing the same pictures again, because I actually completed quite a few of Johanna's books several times. So I don't mind personally, but I know, you know, not everyone feels that way. So I hope everyone had a good break over Christmas, and probably actually today, I should think most people have got a day off. Not everybody, of course, some people do have to work. My husband's back at work on the 2nd of January. I don't really take a sort of, I'm going to do these ones now, planned holiday in the same sort of way that other people do, being, because I just do these videos, you know, so I just take days off when I need them, really. And I sort of had Christmas Day off, Boxing Day, I was quite tired, so I took that day off too. And then today, I'm recording this on the 27th of December. Partly I wanted to get this one done because it's a bit daunting, and I sometimes find myself procrastinating, and so it's better just to start getting stuck in, sort of thing. And also I've got a couple of days, the 29th we might be seeing family, and the 30th we've got a party if my parents are free of COVID. They have been with people that have had it, but they seem okay at the minute, so we'll see, fingers crossed. They've also had the vaccine and things like that, so hopefully that'll help them. this one. But father-in-law's got it at the minute and he hasn't been able to do anything for Christmas. He lives alone some of the time and some of the time with his companion, but he went home on his own when he started getting symptoms and spent Christmas on his own, which was such a shame. But we've been talking to him every day, and he's picking up now, which is great. He's feeling a little bit better, and hopefully we'll be able to go and see him soon. And but we'll have to see. He's quite busy. He's always got lots of appointments, and so we were supposed to be seeing him on Boxing Day, and after that he's sort of busy a week. But that's of course if he feels well enough. We had suggested just popping over to see him for an hour or so, but he really didn't want to do that. I think he feels like he wants to properly be in good form to entertain, not just feeling a bit, low. So anyway, the good news is he's on the mend, and and my sister, she's got it as well. But interestingly, we all caught it in different places. It just seems to be quite prolific. I think when we went to see my sister, her boys had it. They thought they just had colds, but anyway. But we don't. We were just getting over it. I think I'm going to do these grasses the same. But yes, it did sort of make. I felt iller than I'd felt before, and we've had it before, and I didn't feel as ill. But it was pretty miserable. But luckily not serious. Just a temperature, which means no energy, that sort of thing, and sort of cold symptoms as well. And you get tired from coughing. Coughing was just getting on my nerves. But anyway, and my sister saying her chest was hurting a bit this morning, and my mum said she's coughing so much. She said, "Oh, but you've heard her coughing." I was like, "Actually, I haven't, because I don't phone my sister. I talk to her on Messenger, so I can't hear her coughing on there." We type, we don't actually talk, but it's probably what's making her chest hurt a bit. But she knows that it's that, so she's okay with it. She's not going to worry, so that's good. Right, I've been looking at these things. What are these? What do you reckon? I want to do them as if they're stones. I know they might be coral, but I never know how to colour that. So I would rather grab a brown and do them like stones. So that's what I'm going to do. If you want to do them like coral, by all means do. But I'm not. So I'm going to use this 77, which is either called the sepia or tobacco brown, depending on what chart you look at. I've discovered that in Ergosofts, this is the number 77, is called sepia. I'm going to just fill in these gaps with this one as well. And in Design Journey, this is called tobacco brown. So it's a bit confusing, isn't it? And where do I find the names, people ask? Well, on the Staedtler website, they have them. They're quite difficult to find. You have to sort of go to the item and hover over the coloured squares. I think I'm going to do them striped, so I'm going to do this one as well, and then I'll do the other two in the 76. So it's quite tricky. So I have actually put together a chart with the names, although as I say, the ergos are slightly different names, but sometimes people like names. So I put together a chart, and it's on my in my Ko-fi shop. There's a link to my Ko-fi shop in the description. But I am excited because I'm going to be getting the 72 set of these. I've got the, I can't remember what size set. It's a lovely set. I really like them. So I just wanted more. And it's been on my wish list for a while. And then Christmas came and I didn't get them. But I was gifted some money. So I decided to buy them for myself, which is rather fun. So when they arrive, I will do a sort of video with a picture and we'll try out all the new colours and things like that. You can have a look and see what you think. So yes, they're on the way, but our post is a bit rubbish. at the moment because of all the bank holidays and things. Obviously people need to have a holiday, so I don't know when it's due to come, so I just be patient and see. And I also I bought them off Amazon and opted for the free delivery option, which means that they take a bit longer, but I would rather save the £5 or whatever it was and wait than pay that to have them right away. Okay, so I've not finished those yet, but I'm going to leave them there for now. And I'm wondering, I think I might do all these circles with the brown as well. I could do them in grey, but I'm going to do them in the brown. I'm going to try to make them a little bit darker on the outside than the middle, but that's going to be quite difficult. So anyway, yeah, people will probably be interested in what I had for Christmas. But actually, I didn't get any colouring things. I got some really interesting books. My parents bought me a funny novel, which I like. It was great fun. I read it already. And also a book called The Daily Stoic. I can't remember who it's by. It's one that Johanna Basford, I think, recommended actually. And it's, you read it, there's a little bit each day to read. Now, husband has got the journal and said, oh, look, we could do this together. But I looked at the journal, I didn't really understand it. So I thought I'd rather read the book first and get a better understanding of it all. So that's something for me. It's on my bedside table. Every evening from the 1st of Jan, I should be having a little look at that. So that'll be interesting before bed. And so I had that. And then, what else did they get me? There's a third item. I can't remember. And my sister did get me a colouring. She got me the Millie Marotta postcards, which I did a flip through video of. So that was nice, and a few other things. And father-in-law gave me money, which is why I'm spending. That's nice. And a friend gave us some sort of nice foodie nibbles, nuts and bits and pieces. Lovely. Really nice. So that was good. So we did get spoiled. And often, I mean, boys have more things. Husband, yes, he did get me a present. Sorry, I forgot. I got an autobiography of one of the dancers from Strictly, my favourite show, and I got 3 books about the local town that we live in and the history of the town and the shops and things like that. I love looking at old pictures of places. Because I can't visualise, it's quite difficult to sort of work out where they are, but one book was very good. It had a picture when the book was written, which was only last year, well, year before, 2022. And so a picture of how it is now and then a picture of how it was, so then makes it much easier for me to see how it's changed, what hasn't changed, that sort of thing. Because it might be the same, I don't know in all towns, but in the towns that I've lived in, if you look up above the shop fronts and you can see the building above, you can see what it might have looked like when it was first built, rather than being distracted by what's in the window of the shop and the shop name and things like that. And particularly in the UK, I don't know if it's true in other countries, it can be absolutely fascinating to look at the design of the brickwork or what's concrete or whatever it's made from, and that sort of thing, and it can give you an idea of what things were like years ago, and I just find that quite fascinating. And what was very interesting, I'm going to do these rocks as well in this colour, was that a lot of the shops were owned by multiple generations of families, going back, you know, in the sort of 1700s, 1800s, that sort of thing, even early 1900s. And so, or they would be owned by the big business owners, but local. So there might be a particular figure who owned, say, there was a tailor, for example, who didn't just have a shop, but the factory where they made the clothing for the shop was above it, you know, that sort of thing. So they would be big, sort of, in that sense, biggish, but obviously not big chains. Didn't really have big chain stores like we get now. And the town, actually, a quarter of the shops were sold food, because of course you didn't have the big supermarkets or like we used to, so you would have bakers and butchers, you'd have greengrocers and grocers and all that sort of thing, and some butchers even had little slaughterhouses behind them. You can imagine, it's just not, you wouldn't imagine that in these days. Oh, we've got a few here in the middle. It's quite fascinating, and the families that some of the names of the streets and the areas are named after these families that were very prosperous. But there's a very interesting, I think the main character, I'm going to do these like we did on the other side. The main sort of character in the town, he not only had businesses, but he set up what they called a cooperative, where he built houses for working class people and set up a sort of building society where they could buy their own house. They could borrow the money to buy their own house. And I thought that was very, I mean, he probably profited from it, but even so, I still think that was a nice opportunity for people to be able to buy their own homes like that. And he's actually got his statue in the town. He's the only person who's got a statue in the town, next to a big building that he actually had built. He didn't build it himself, obviously. Rich people don't touch bricks. But he also built the hospital and paid for that to be built, so that's pretty amazing. So yeah, and we've got streets. We haven't got streets. Yes, we've got one street named after him. No, that's wrong. His name was George, his Christian name. But actually, no, the street is named after one of the King Georges. I'm not sure which one, because there was some sort of jubilee or something, I think, and big celebration. But it was quite interesting to find out which streets were built when, and that some are fairly modern. And you know, like the town centre in our town has actually moved, so it used to be at the top of a hill, and now it's at the bottom, which is quite interesting. I'm going to do these. Yeah. I'm trying to work out how long I've been going for. There we go. I can't see my timer very well. I've changed the display on my camera. Sometimes it just decides to change itself and I try to put it back. So yes, I just find it all very fascinating, and looking at the sorts of things they sold. So there's a sports shop in our town which is a very old shop, run by a family. I don't know if they still own it or if it was sold, I don't know. Anyway, and when it was first established in the same premises that it is now, it not only sold sportswear, but it also sold general clothing, which now it sells school uniforms, but it sold general clothing and tobacco and guns. Like, wow. I mean, I'm assuming the guns might have been for the sport, hopefully, because obviously here you can't buy them, just buy them. Not anymore. You have to have a license and you have to keep them locked up by law, I think. I don't know much about it. It's not something I've ever needed to look into, thankfully. But yeah, the thought that you would go into a sports shop and buy tobacco. It's quite funny. Yeah, but it was a very fascinating read. So actually on Christmas Day I read 3 books, and yeah, I still got a couple to read, so that's fun, and looking forward to those. But I thought I'd get on and make this video. As I say, I was procrastinating a bit, and that's never good. And I'm having fun now doing it. It's just the thought of getting into it, you know. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the background and things like that, but these little sections aren't quite as small as I thought. I think I'm getting used to doing smaller things because of small victories, which I've done a fair bit of over Christmas, but not too much, because I didn't want to, you know, I've been promising you various series and videos and things from it, so I didn't want to do too much. But on the other hand, it's exciting, isn't it? It's a lovely new book. to play with. You would have seen yesterday, if you watched my completed pages video, what I've been doing in there. But I'm going to probably do the lorry/truck page soon, and the cupcakes, because I've done a little bit of that for you already. It's in here actually ready for me to do some, but I've also obviously this is the priority, but I've promised someone that I'm going to do a Maria Trolle page, so I haven't forgotten that. I'm just checking. Yep, that's all of that. So I'm going to grab my darker brown. I've got to find it. Oh no, 76, it's lighter. It's a slightly more reddish brown. I'm going to go up here and just fill in these little gaps, basically. I'm going to try and make sure that I put down enough so you can see that it's a different colour. You could even do it in a grey if you wanted. I wouldn't go to one of the lighter browns in the Design Journey set. The set that I've got, the lighter browns are very orangey or reddy. I don't think they quite work. I'm just gonna tidy that bit up a bit. For me, this is the sort of tone difference that I wanted, rather than going to a really different one, because I don't want it to stand out. I feel that the feature of the page should be the cup of tea. Oh, you can't see, like the central bit with the tea party and the fish and that sort of thing. I feel like this bit is really just a frame. So that's my thought anyway. You may not agree. You may prefer to make this stand out too. So just going through them all, quite simple. Then we're going to do the same on these. It's actually stopped raining, I think. It's so, when I came in here, I've got the main light on in here, which normally I don't. I've got the blind open, but it's so dark outside, and the lamp on as well. I hope the light is fairly reasonable for you, but it was raining so hard. It was just battering down, but I think it stopped, which is okay. Give it a chance to soak in before the next bit starts. I think we're sort of, the forecast was for stormy weather anyway, so I think that's what's going on. So yeah, I hope everyone else had a good Christmas and got the sort of prezzies that they wanted, or did what they wanted. You know, it's I always find it a very exciting time of year personally. I like a bit of time with my family, that sort of thing. Thinking about this background. I think I will think some more before I do anything. I think, let's see, how are we doing? 23. We'll do a few more of the plants, I think, before we stop. So we've got these three now. To me, these three all look like the same plants. I'm thinking maybe they would all be the same colour. I'm quite tempted to do, let me see what that looks like. I think actually no, I'm going to do the 52, which is our sap green, because it's fairly close to this one. I was thinking about going to the olives, but I think it will match in with that better. So I'm going to do this with the sap green. Now again, you could fade towards the tip a little bit. I want them to be fairly, stand out fairly well, so I don't really want to make them too light at the tips. Now when I did this last time, I said I wasn't very happy with it. I did some blue for the water in the background, and I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that this time. I think that spoilt it. I'm thinking behind here we've got what looks like it might be some sort of wall, and we have that on all of it. I think maybe just up the top of here, I know it's not in shot, maybe a bit of blue background up there, and maybe a bit around the edge, and then the rest do it as if it's some sort of rock. That's where my brain's going at the moment. I think that might work better, because putting blue behind here, I think was my mistake, is what I'm thinking. But obviously you might think, actually I want it blue behind there, you know, I also did some pink which looked horrible, and I don't know why I did that. Not all pink looks horrible. I'm not a pinky person, as you know, really, but I don't know, it just didn't match. I think I did the wall behind here pink, because I thought, oh, they might make it out of pretty coral, being a sort of mermaid's room. And then I did blue next to it, and the sort of corally pink doesn't go with this sort of turquoise blue. It was really nasty, so that was the problem. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm certainly not going to do it pink. I probably might just do it grey. Actually, we've got quite a nice selection of greys in this set of Staedtlers, so that might be the way to go. Now, I'm thinking about actually whether to do, shall I do, like on the right hand side we've got a similar, we've so far done it the same colours. I'm wondering whether to do the plant that's over there in the same colour as this, to sort of give it some consistency to make it match. I think I might do that. Oh, I'm gurgly. I just had a coffee. It's making my tummy gurgle. I thought I'd better have a coffee before I talk to you for a long time. Keep my voice going. There we go. So, as I say, I'm going to just do exactly the same colour here, and then it will sort of match. I wouldn't normally do this sort of seaweed the same colour as the that other plant, which looks more like a normal plant, but I just think for the purposes of this design it's going to just give it an I think it will help it to frame it, which is what I'm trying to do with these bits, because it, you know, sort of match. I haven't checked the TV guide. I know there's a quiz on tonight, which it's sort of, they do one all day. They have it's called Richard Osman's House of Games. They have 4 celebrities answering questions all week, and I missed yesterday, so I need to catch up with that before today's is on. I think they're on quite late this week because of the being sort of Christmas programmes, and they sort of mess around all the TV. I can catch up with that a little bit later, which will be fun. Maybe after tea. I'll try and see what time it is. 3 o'clock. Still early. Yeah, I think we've just almost used up all the leftovers. I think there's a little bit of gravy left. That's about it. So I do like using up leftovers though, so I do it really very quickly. We do have some potatoes, like uncooked, not cooked potatoes, but we don't normally have potatoes. They're a treat. I've got a few of those left, so I'm not sure. Might do something with them tonight. I was thinking about my stomach, wasn't I? We might just have a big pile of different veg to what we've been eating, so we get something a bit different. It's another possibility. But I shall speak to the boys, because my husband doesn't usually eat with us, he likes his own thing, but my boys do. I'll see what they want me to do. One of them is working again today already. He had a few days off and he's back to it. He wants to get it done. He knows he's got a deadline coming up, and is keen to get it finished, I think. But I think he's going through one that I proofread for him. He's got to go through that. There are a couple of areas where I felt he could back up what he said with a reference, and he hadn't had many references in it, so I think it will help to bulk it out a little bit more as well. He might end up with too many words, so that's a problem. Right, that's that one done. Now, what I'm going to do actually is, let's come out a little bit so you can see, because this is me sort of ending after 29 minutes, but I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework. I feel, see the background of both of these, it goes up to this bit here, behind here in between videos I'm going to colour that bit in, and I just want it to be grey so that it doesn't really show up massively, but I'm thinking the warm grey might be good. It's a brownish grey, so I think it will tone in with the colours that we've got here. It's number 85. So what I'm going to do in between videos is to colour, so up to that dotted line there and that dotted line, all this in between these stones where there's gaps, all down there and round there, and the same on this side, so along that bit, down there and there and there. What I'll do is I will do that, and I will take a photo for the end of this video so you can see what it looks like when it's done. And that is, I think, something to leave you to do, because it'll take a bit of time to sit there and colour and fiddle, but it's just plain colouring, so there isn't much more to show you. And what I'm also going to do is I might tidy up some of this because it's a bit messy, mine, so I might just tidy it up a bit and make it look a bit neater while I'm colouring it on my own. And but I won't do anything else, okay, so just that bit. So, but that's me for today, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your bank holiday or public holiday, whatever you may call it. Have a super day and happy colouring.